Some places don't need an explanation, just a quiet moment to take them in. In this video, we'll explore 15 of Europe's most breathtaking destinations. Slow the scroll, breathe deep, and let the landscapes speak for themselves. Number 15. Zakynthos, Greece. Zakynthos feels like a place designed for quiet awe. At its heart is Navajo Beach, a cove framed by sheer cliffs and impossibly blue water, where a rusted shipwreck rests in the sand like a time-stamped relic. But this island holds more than one famous view. The coastline winds through secret beaches and sea caves you can swim through, lit by the sun in surreal shades of turquoise. Inland, you'll find olive groves that have stood for centuries and hills that turn golden at dusk. It's the kind of place where time feels slower, where sitting still and watching the sea change color becomes the highlight of your day. Whether you're wandering through sleepy villages or floating on quiet water, Zakynthos invites a deeper kind of travel. Not one built on checklists, but on presence and stillness, and moments you carry long after the journey ends. Number 14. Lucerne, Switzerland. Lucerne is a place where everything feels balanced, between water and mountain, history and quiet elegance. Its old town unfolds gently, with cobbled streets and painted facades reflected in the calm surface of Lake Lucerne. The chapel bridge stretches across the water like something out of a fable, and nearby, the peaks of Mount Pilatus and Mount Rigi rise into skies that always seem just a little cleaner. Here, boats glide slowly, clocks chime softly, and the whole city seems to breathe at a gentler pace. You don't have to rush in Lucerne. There's time to watch the light shift across the rooftops, to sit by the lake and feel the breeze, to notice the details others pass by. It's not just scenic, it's peaceful, grounded, and quietly restorative. Lucerne doesn't demand attention. It simply offers beauty and waits patiently for you to notice. Number 13. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik rises straight from the sea like a story carved in stone. Its ancient walls enclose a city that has stood through centuries of tides and time, its marble streets worn smooth by countless footsteps. Within these walls, terracotta rooftops and quiet courtyards offer shade from the Adriatic sun, while Baroque churches and watchtowers echo with history. From above, the old town appears like a dream, balanced on the edge of land, surrounded by the deep blue of the sea. But Dubrovnik is more than a preserved city. It's a meeting point between past and present, where calm mornings give way to golden evenings and the sea breeze carries stories you'll never fully hear. Climb the fortress, look out over the coast, and feel how small and how infinite the world can seem. Dubrovnik doesn't just impress, it invites you to listen, to feel, and to reflect. Number 12. Corsica, France. Corsica is a land shaped by contrast, wild yet refined, rugged but poetic. The mountains seem to rise directly from the sea, their jagged silhouettes softened by pine forests and scattered hilltop villages. The coastline curves gently, revealing quiet coves and beaches where the water shifts between sapphire and jade. Inland, narrow roads wind through chestnut groves and ancient stone towns, each one holding a slow rhythm of daily life. It's a place where French culture mingles with the strong island identity, reflected in the food, the language, the music, and the pride. Corsica doesn't demand an itinerary. It offers a landscape to explore, to breathe in, to quietly admire. Whether you're walking coastal trails or sipping coffee in a sun-drenched square, there's a feeling here, a kind of freedom that comes from wild beauty and solitude. Corsica isn't just visited, it's felt slowly, deeply, and in your own time. Number 11. The Dolomites, Italy. The Dolomites don't shout for your attention, they simply stand, ancient and steady, inviting you to pause. These mountains rise like stone cathedrals, their pale faces catching light in soft pinks and golds at dawn and dusk. Below them, alpine meadows roll into forests and lakes that mirror the peaks above. Villages nestle into the landscape as if they've always been there, with wooden homes, quiet trails, and a pace that respects the land. It's a place where you hike in silence, breathe mountain air that clears your thoughts, and feel small in the most comforting way. The Dolomites aren't just about scenery, they're about stillness, contrast, and perspective. One moment, you're surrounded by sheer rock, the next by gentle wildflowers swaying in the wind. And in that mix of drama and serenity, you find something rare. A landscape that doesn't ask you to conquer it, only to notice it. Number 10. Kotor, Montenegro. Kotor is quiet, ancient, and deeply atmospheric. Tucked into a bay that feels more like a fjord, the town seems to emerge naturally from the mountains behind it. Stone walls climb the steep hillside, a reminder of centuries of watchfulness. Within them lies a web of narrow alleys, small plazas, and buildings that lean gently with age. The sea here is calm, glassy, reflective, almost like it's holding the sky. When you walk Kotor's old streets, time feels like it bends slightly. Bells ring from old churches, cats nap in sunlit corners, and the air carries a sense of things that came before. Climbing to the fortress above, you see the whole bay unfold like a painting, surrounded by peaks, kissed by light, and impossibly still. Kotor doesn't overwhelm with grandeur. Instead, it whispers history and invites you to wander, to wonder, and to be part of the stillness. Number 9. Amalfi Coast, Italy. The Amalfi Coast feels like a coastline suspended in time. Clifftop villages cascade toward the sea, their pastel facades warmed by the Mediterranean sun. Narrow roads twist and turn through lemon groves and stone tunnels, each curve revealing new panoramas. Endless blue water, steep terraced hills, boats drifting slowly below. Places like Positano, Ravello, and Amalfi seem to perch on the edge of gravity, both fragile and enduring. Life moves with intention here. People pause to sip espresso, to watch the light dance on the sea, to talk with neighbors in sunlit piazzas. The rhythm is unhurried. It's not a place to rush through, but one to settle into, even for a moment. Every scent, every view, every sound, the bells, the birds, the distant waves, pulls you further into its quiet magic. The Amalfi Coast isn't just about beauty. It's about how beauty changes you when you take time to notice it. Number 8. Plitvice Lakes, Croatia. Plitvice Lakes is a world built by water and time. 16 lakes flow into one another across limestone terraces, connected by a network of cascading waterfalls, streams, and quiet pools. The paths here aren't just trails. They're invitations to wander, to follow the water's journey through a landscape that feels enchanted. Wooden boardwalks float above turquoise surfaces, weaving through forests where the air smells of moss and morning. The sound of falling water is constant, soothing, present, almost meditative. Every step brings a new view, a waterfall you didn't expect, a reflection too perfect to be real. Even in the height of summer, there's a hush that holds over the park, as if the whole place is asking you to listen. It doesn't aim to impress with scale or spectacle. Its power is in its serenity, its layered beauty, and the way it makes the ordinary, water, light, forest feel completely extraordinary. Number 7. Madeira, Portugal. Madeira is a floating garden in the Atlantic, full of contrast and color. It's an island shaped by volcanoes and softened by flowers, where rugged cliffs plunge into deep ocean, and mist curls through forests older than memory. Trails known as levadas lead you across terraced hillsides, through tunnels carved into stone, past waterfalls that fall like silver threads. The island's climate is gentle and generous, always spring, always green. And yet the landscape never stops shifting. In one day, you can stand above the clouds on a mountain peak, and hours later, swim in a natural pool at the ocean's edge. Madeira feels far away in the best way, not just geographically, but emotionally. It's a place that asks little from you, except that you slow down, walk a little further, and notice what's around you. In that quiet, it offers something rare, solitude that feels deeply welcoming. Number 6. Bavarian Alps, Germany. The Bavarian Alps are a place where stories feel real, where fairy tales and landscapes meet. Green valleys roll beneath towering peaks, and castles like Neuschwanstein rise above the treetops as if placed by imagination. Villages dot the hillsides with red-roofed houses, painted shutters, and the soft sound of cowbells echoing in the air. There's a calm here that goes beyond the scenery, a quiet, everyday kind of peace. Mornings are crisp with mist over the lakes. Evenings are golden with shadows stretching long across the fields. The rhythm of life is slow and kind. People greet each other on trails. Meals are hearty, shared without hurry. The mountains aren't there to be conquered, but to be lived beside. Whether you're hiking through flowered meadows or sitting by a fire as snow falls gently outside, the Bavarian Alps remind you that beauty doesn't always need to be grand. Sometimes it's just honest. Number 5. Trolltunga, Norway. Now this is a place you don't stumble upon. You earn it. The trail begins long before the view, winding through quiet valleys, alpine lakes, and snow-dusted rockfields. It's a challenging path, but one that narrows your focus to the essentials: breath, movement, and the steady rhythm of your steps. And then suddenly there it is, a stone tongue jutting out above a vast glacial fjord, one of nature's most dramatic balconies. The view is wide and silent, broken only by wind and distant water. Standing there with cliffs behind you and nothing beneath, there's a stillness that stretches across the landscape. It isn't just about the photo, it's about the space you find in yourself on the way there. It's solitude, perspective, and a moment of pause in a place that feels untouched by time. When you leave, you take more than memories. You take a kind of clarity that's hard to describe. Number 4. Tuscany, Italy. Tuscany invites you to slow down and take the long way. Its hills unfold gently, one rolling into the next, stitched together by rows of cypress trees and vineyards glowing under soft light. Villages perch quietly on hilltops, wrapped in stone and story, while olive groves stretch into the distance. Everything here seems touched by time, but unbothered by it. Mornings are golden, afternoons stretch into evenings filled with the sound of laughter and the clink of glasses. Food is not a meal, it's a rhythm, a celebration of what the land gives. You don't need much here. A walk, a view, a piece of bread dipped in oil fresh from the press. Tuscany doesn't ask you to be anywhere else. It draws you in gently until you realize that what you thought was a getaway is really a return to slowness, to quiet joy, to something deeply human. Number 3. Hallstatt, Austria. Hallstatt feels like a place imagined by someone who wanted everything to be still. Tucked between the edge of a lake and the rise of the Dachstein Alps, it's a village that reflects perfectly water, sky, rooftops, all folded into one seamless view. Mornings bring mist drifting off the lake. Evenings end with soft light catching the spires and timbered houses. There's a sense of quiet here that feels rare, even sacred. The streets are small and winding, often empty, and every corner leads to another scene that feels like it was placed with care. Swans drift on the water. Bells ring gently from the church. There's no rush. Time holds its breath here. You don't visit Hallstatt to do, you visit to feel, to let the quiet in, and to remember that sometimes the most beautiful places are the ones that ask for nothing but your attention. Number 2, Lofoten Islands, Norway. These islands are where land, sea, and sky blur into one vast, unfolding canvas. Mountains rise straight from the Arctic waters, their sharp peaks softened by snow and the endless sky above. Fishing cabins painted red cling to the rocky shores, and the light, always shifting, makes every hour feel new. In winter, the northern lights dance silently across the sky. In summer, the sun never sets. It's a place of extremes, but also one of deep peace. There's space here, space to think, to breathe, to feel connected to something elemental. The wind speaks across the fjords, and the sea moves with slow, steady power. It doesn't offer distraction, it offers presence. Whether you're standing at the edge of a cliff or walking beside a quiet harbor, the islands remind you that beauty doesn't need embellishment. It just needs to be seen, with wide eyes and a quiet heart. Number 1, Lake Bled, Slovenia. Lake Bled feels like a place built from memory, like something your imagination shaped before you ever arrived. A still blue lake surrounded by forested hills, a small island in the center crowned with the steepled church, a medieval castle perched on a cliff, watching over it all. The scene is quiet but never empty. Swans glide across the water. Rowboats drift gently to the island. There's a path that circles the lake, perfect for walking slowly, for watching light shift through the trees. The air is cool and clear, the pace unhurried. Even the town feels calm, content just to exist beside the water. It's the kind of place that doesn't ask for a plan. You arrive, you breathe, you stay a little longer than you meant to, and when you leave, it stays with you, calm, still, and gently unforgettable. Lake Bled is beauty, distilled. Not every journey needs a rush. Sometimes the most lasting impressions come from stillness, light, and silence. These places linger not for their grandeur, but for the way they make you feel. Thanks for watching. Travel gently and stay curious.